and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which is always challenging material. I thought that None Sensations helped balance that off a little bit. The Producers is what it is. It's a
fantastic show.
Wonderful show.
Yeah.
It is such a tip of the hat to the musicals of the 50s, which is, it's rooted in that. And of course that's Brooks' style, that's what he wants. Just as his newer one, Young Frankenstein, took the operetta mode, and it does it very effectively. The Producer certainly was a feather. And then the leading ladies on our main stage, we really like the work of, oh, what's his name? The guy that wrote it. Jeez. We do like the work of Lend Me a Tenor, that guy, leading ladies. Oh.
I'm trying to remember too.
I can't.
I mean,
it's just gone. It's too early in the morning. It's too late at night. I don't know. It's not there. But Leading Ladies was funny farce, and it reads funny. You know that you're in a good place because it just reads funny. And so I was very satisfied with that. I thought that offered our audiences a really nice balance and nice choices. In addition, we had a good studio season, or I thought we did, certainly. I know that you challenged yourself with a new work, and that was very, very nice to see, because I thought it was well performed. I guess what I'm saying is anybody who saw most of our offerings last year got what they paid for. They really did. Certainly with the show that you did, Panache, we saw a different side of the romantic entanglement, and maybe a little bit of the darker side. But it was very gratifying. It was well done. I thought that Doubt was a fine piece of theater.
Very, very fine.
And had conceptually worked.
I hear many people say that they enjoyed it much more than the movie.
And it could be easily. The movie. The problem. I mean, my attitude. I love movies, and Meryl Streep was brilliant in that. I thought she did the moment at the end when she said, "I have doubts." You saw in her eyes the anguish of the entire 2 hours that you shared with her, and you saw it all turn on a dime, and it was impressive. I actually watched the ending of that movie numerous times just to watch that transition, because that was a piece of acting. On the other hand, it removes you from the play in a way that live theater certainly doesn't. Live theater engages you. It asks you to actively involve yourself.
I was really impressed with the staging of Doubt. The set design was brilliant.
Conceptually, it was as solid a show as any we've done.
It was definitely one of the tops in the studio. Speaking of the studio,
yes,
I understand that all the lovers of the studio theater are going to have to go to a different address this coming season.
That's correct.
And can you tell us a little bit about the studio theater?
Sure. There are a number of things you asked earlier, about things that I would like to see over the next 5 years, and some of those are in process. One of those is the embracing, if you will, of the studio theater in a way that enables us to raise it from what it has been. People have wanted to do this, and we've tried from time to time. When the studio theater was first created, it was created to be kind of a place to test our chops a little bit. When I first got involved in the theater, we were doing, Web of Murder and all the Opal does, not the Opal does Dallas, Opal walks the street, or whatever it is that Opal always did, walking around with their shopping carts and all. Those are the kinds of comedies we did. We tended to do lesser challenging ones. Very typical of a community theater that's just trying to, do what they think they can handle, and this theater was really starting to stretch. I wanted to do some Pinter. I wanted to do some Ionesco, and some of the writers that grew out of the 50s and 60s who were no longer, who actually had their heyday already in many respects, but this theater hadn't touched any of their work, and were unlikely to. So it was an opportunity for me. There was a big empty room here at the time, the day room, or kind of lunch room in this theater that was turned into a theater from a church. And so we said, this common room down here, we could do some stuff in here. It'd be small, but so what? So we could do Pinter, and we could do this stuff that was a challenge, and we thought there might be an audience for it, and as it turned out, there was. And we started doing, that first year we did, let's see, I guess we did Pinter's Homecoming, we did Ionesco, not Ionesco, Israel Horowitz's Line, we did David Mamet. So we were really challenging ourselves and having a good time. We also did 12 Angry Men.
I have a question. What do the people that have supported the studio theater over the years, what do they have to look forward to in going over to the new space?
Well,
and
let me explain why they're going to the new space, because I think that's important to understand.
You bet.
Because that almost is the reason is a practical one. We're bumping into each other left and right. We've got a night of meetings here, and we've got the conference room is filled, the studio theater has a meeting going on, the multi-purpose room has a meeting going on, they're up in the green room upstairs, and that's just the meetings. Forget all the other stuff. So we've been bumping heads for a while, and it's really causing problems. Our main stage, the first 3 weeks they can't rehearse here. The studio is always gobbling for rehearsal time against everything else that's going on. We have a very active children's theater.
Aren't you concerned, though, that the actors are going to miss the phones ringing in the reservation office?
They might. They might. We can put some in. We don't want them to feel totally left out. So we'll put some ringing phones, and somebody can sit there and every once in a while just hit the button, right? And we'll get a ring out of it. But, with all of that banging together, we know that we need additional space, and we are in process of seeking more permanent space for studio and children's theater. The depot is just an empty space,
right.
and it had been used last year by another theater company, Theater North, and for whatever reason they're not going to be in that space this year, so we saw it as an opportunity, and we were able to make an agreement, a lease with the leaseholder, and we have access to that space for this year with an option for another year if we need it. Is a real home for both the studio and the children's theater that enables us to run as we are able and see fit. In other words, we've had some shows that are highly successful and we have to stop them because there's another show going up on stage, or there's another show going down in our studio, and we can't have two shows operating at the same time. This way we will be able to have if we've got a strong show in one of our studio productions, then great, we can run it and people can enjoy that. We can expand what we are able to do. We will have more opportunities to do more studio style shows. Now when I say studio, that's got a kind of an image of what has always occurred here, and that's going to change ultimately.